trying to figure out what part of the United States Loot Lake is in. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of It's Your Birthday, the only podcast that gets you a gift every single week, and this week is no different, and that gift, as always, is video games. From your cell phone, to your tablet, to your fidget machine, to your puzzles, to your chess boards. Video games are everywhere, and we're going to talk about some today, huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like when the worlds collide and there's like video game board games. Like you know, of course.
You know, I can't tell you how many times I've almost picked up Clubhouse games on the Switch because it seems like it would be pretty rad, and I just haven't ever Okay, all right, I see what you're doing. I don't know if you guys at home can see it, but your boy's trying to
of course you
around.
Can. No, of course you can see it. I wouldn't make it to where they couldn't see it.
Oh man, no, but look at that. You can get it on sale. It's a substantial price drop. You can get about,
look.
What is that, $10 off that boy?
Yeah, Honey, the app that saves you money popped up and was telling me.
Oh shit, is that a browser extension?
That is a browser extension that saves you money on online shopping.
Actually, I know we've talked a lot of noise about Honey, but it did save me money yesterday, as a matter of fact, because I was ordered the third volume of the Monster Hunter art books, and it was $55 down to $35, which is a good deal.
That's not bad. Yeah, it's popped up a couple times and been like, hey, you get like $2 off, and I'm like, well, it's better than $2 on, I guess.
No dollars off, I guess. And then they're like, actually, but with shipping, they add $2 to shipping, so it's just a pretend discount.
Yeah, just wanted to make you like trick your brain into feeling good for a minute that you saved some money, but in reality, you're just getting robbed.
The thing is, I don't use Honey. I use Molasses, and I also use SAP instead. And SAP is a browser extension that actually costs you money. So you install it, and every time you're going to spend some money, it adds $20 to it. So you go, that's a little too much for me. So you don't buy anything. It's actually great. You know what? Actually, we should make Molasses. That'd be a great app. It just adds a bunch of money to shit so you don't buy it. It makes the prices wildly inaccurate.
Yeah, fucks up the prices. Dude.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how many people would install that on like significant others who spend too much money online machines and be like, dude.
Christian, maybe we cut this part out.
I think
maybe we cut this part out because that's something right there. I'm feeling it. What you do is you make everything look like the scalper pricing, so then no one buys anything, and they're like, "Never mind, dude. I'm not gonna buy a PlayStation 5 for what is that, $2,200? I'm cool. I'm good on it.
I'm gravy. I'm not gonna buy this cake mixer for $240.
What is it? Why is toilet paper $700 and why is toothpaste $85? I'm out." And you go, "Yep. You don't need teeth.
Don't need
you
any
don't
of
need
this.
Teeth.
Get your ass to the store." Go buy the goods and get them immediately.
I would love it.
We used to do that.
It would be a pretty wild social experiment too, although probably somewhat illegal, I would guess, in some faction. But if you could raise a child with that always installed and never like take them out to a store, so when you see stuff, you're like, "Honey, we cannot afford that," and then it would make them maybe treat everything like it was really expensive, so they would treat everything really well. But then when they get out in the real world, they would buy so much shit, I think. Like once they moved out, they'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm getting everything."
No, that happens. That absolutely happens.
Does it?
Like, yeah, it doesn't. You don't even need to have some kind of experiment. That absolutely happens, where it's like you have really frugal parents, and like, you know, you're eating Hamburger Helper 5 days out of the week. You go to like a restaurant maybe once in every 5 years. And then like, hey, can I get this video game? And it's like, here's the Tiger handheld version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Good luck. And then you grow up and you're like
saving you from yourself. Don't put your burdens on everyone, okay? This is a different issue we're having now.
I was lucky that my parents were like cool enough on the know enough to be like, yeah, video games are pretty cool and our kid likes them, so we'll buy them and the real shit. But I mean, for people out there, I mean, I get it. Like, be frugal, handle your money or whatever. But like, it does create a sense of like kids not understanding the value of anything. Like, if you don't let them work toward it or something. Because then, like, yeah, they get out in the real world and it's like, oh shit, I haven't ever spent money on anything. And then they go hog wild and fucking can't control their finances.
Or they just never do. Yeah. Or it's the other thing is where they never spend money on anything, which is, I guess, probably the better course. But I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe that's how you get hoarders that just keep all the wealth, is they don't buy anything. Because you know what? That was something that bothers me. Every time you drive down in Dallas, like on Swiss Avenue or something, I cannot tell you the amount of multi-million-dollar mansions that have upstairs like second-story patios with not a single piece of furniture on them, and it drives me fucking insane. Because it's like,
it's just for
why,
show, dude.
why have it? Why have the coolest place to sit and then nowhere to sit? Who are you getting off on? Like, what is this?
I just wonder if, like, honestly, those are for looks. Like, they don't even have a door that goes out to that balcony. Like, nobody stepped foot on it in, like, fucking decades.
I would say if that's true, though, wouldn't you have, like, the nicest ass furniture you can out there and then let it get caught in the rain because you really don't give a shit? You're just like, it doesn't matter to me. None of this matters. I would rather that than them have nothing. It just would be completely useless.
Listen, I'll say this. I love Dallas. It's a great city. I lived in a not so great part of Dallas not too long ago. And like I had a straw broom, a large trash can, and like a broken folding table taken off of my porch for like no reason.
Them goddamn billionaires, dude. They just want everything you got.
Maybe they're the ones hoarding all the furniture and just not displaying it. Yeah, you're right.
I would love it if all crimes were done by the insanely rich. I mean, you could sort of argue that they are in a weird way, or at least they cause them all by proxy. But I think it would be great if.
Yeah, more of the national scale grand crimes are committed by
overall crime. It's their fault. But I would love it if they specifically were just slinking around, taking lawn and equipment and shit out of your house, and
just like fucking with poor people. Just like
even more than they already do.
Get fucked.
You got perfectly good adult furniture right behind you, and I can't believe someone hasn't stolen that from you already.
That's my favorite chair in the house, dude. I have my knees go up to my shoulders.
You sit in?
Yeah, that's the one I sit in and think. It never leaves that spot.
I just stare. I love that you stare at a cabinet, like your TV stand, and think. You're like, I love looking at this.
I just sit like this, like.
Yeah, until a request is made, and then you go, yes, honey, and then you get up and do it.
No, I just kind of like look like at a perfect 90-degree angle, and I just like give like a nod, and then I don't do it until I'm ready. I do it on my terms.
That's how you get a little bit of that power back. I get it, brother.
Yeah. That's how people who disrespect the chug jug with you in this house get. That's all the respect they get.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. They're gonna disrespect your favorite song from growing up. They're gonna do that. Your favorite artist from when you were a kid.
Speaking of, we got your favorite video game in the background today. Check that out, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I won't be able to see it until after this is recorded, so I have no rebuttal. But from what I understand, it is Fortnite or maybe Roblox. I can't remember. Either one of my two favorite games.
Which one is it gonna be? We'll see. Maybe it's both, and it flips back and forth every 5 seconds. Who knows?
Super jarring. What? Every 5 seconds? No, come on.
I picked the one thing. I didn't go too crazy.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Hey, video games happen. That's a thing that happens.
Have they really happened yet? Because there hasn't really been any games that's happened in recent memory that I can think of. I mean, tomorrow is Monster Hunter, or today, I guess, rather, if you're watching this on the day that you can watch it. Otherwise,
okay, I'll say gaming-related things are going to happen at some point. That's mostly what I have here.
That's a great point. Yeah, games will happen. That's really cool. Because some companies actually bank their whole livelihood on the fact that there are games that exist.
I'm going to tap into some intuition real quick, okay?
I'm going to say... It better not be... Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. I'm going to say that Nintendo is making a new Switch.
What?
I'm going to have some intuition and say that Nintendo, they're going to make a new Switch. That's my prediction.
Yeah, that's... I mean, that's great. That's great for us as gamers that there's going to be a new Switch. It's
and
crazy.
you get to hear
It's
about
almost,
it every week until it comes out. I hope you're excited.
yeah, because good God, it's been every single week. They have get a little bit of little news peeks out, but that's sort of how Nintendo operates. So my goodness, but guys, just give us the actual information, please. Thank you so much, please. If you would just give us. What's that?
Did you read any of this? Like, did you?
I haven't read. Oh, the Bloomberg one I was telling you about the other day. Yeah, I read a little bit of it. I mean, for me, the biggest thing is the DLSS stuff. But if it's not, like I said, if it's gonna be, like some code added to certain games, that kind of sucks because I'm sure some won't get updated to use that, which is a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, that is a part of this too, that apparently it will take some work for them to update old games.
I hope they do it though, because that is a huge thing that I didn't even think about. Like I didn't even consider that being an option on the Switch, and knowing that there's the possibility of it is big.
I think when we talked about it, I had mentioned because they use NVIDIA stuff that could be a possibility. I think I did mention
over
that.
Here. This little intuition boy.
Dude, do you remember when I said that Nintendo is gonna sell video games? Do you remember when I said that when we first started the podcast?
Oh shit! Do you remember when I said that Nintendo's gonna always be Japanese? Yeah, dude, I get it.
I mean, it's just intuition.
Do you remember when they'll never stop making Mario games? I'm with you though. Like I think honestly for the 4K stuff, it makes tons of sense that they would do that though. Like I think it's almost mandatory that you do it. I mean, because you look at consoles and especially even like high-end PC equipment, it still struggles at 4K. So you think it has to have it, I think, to really to make any of that happen.
Yeah.
I will also say though, I don't think anybody's asking for a 4K Switch though. Like I think it's cool. Fine to have it. I mean, it is cool, but I look at it this way though. Like that, I mean, the DLSS stuff is fantastic because the stuff that I've played that uses it is tremendous.
Yeah.
My thing is though, is like we're having a Switch that already struggles to do 720p and lower. So for them to go like, we're going to make this thing do 4K. I'm like, you should not do that and make it run way better. And then I think we'll be satisfied. But I understand why they need to do 4K. Get off this Bravely business, dude. You got trying to find other business to attend to right now.
No, well, I'll say this because of the DLSS stuff. Like,
yeah,
the screenshots that I'm finding aren't doing it any justice. But like, Bravely Default 2, great game. But right now, it's like, dude, it's one of the most, not one of the most blurry, but it is a blurry experience. It's very jagged. Like, it's like that game with like a little more up-res and a little more like, a little more fidelity would be like right where it needs to be. Handheld on the light, it's fine. But like, playing it docked like I normally play stuff, it's just like, it's very obvious these games are having a hard time keeping up. So like...
Well, that's what I started playing the Okami HD remaster on the Switch, this was an issue that game had on the PS2, but the blur on it is extreme, and like, but the game runs really well, like, so I can't be super upset about it, but it is like, and again, like I said, that's a fault of the art design of that game. It's not necessarily the Switch itself, but yeah, especially on the handheld, it's like, this is rough to see. I feel like my eyes are getting crossed fairly often, and and I mean I agree that it should, the fidelity would help, but like I said, I mean the performance stuff is still, performance and load times are the two things that the Switch needs the most, I think. Like, again, 4K is totally nice, but if you could, I mean, even if you could give us like 1080 at with better load times and performance, that would be more than helpful.
I mean, I was willing to expect and anticipate that, but the fact that, like, I think they're also, Nintendo's not stupid. Like, I think they're also looking at like metrics as far as like what kind of TVs people have in the house now, and like,
for sure.
Yeah, I think like 4K is becoming a lot more prevalent. So I think,
they're getting cheaper and cheaper. I mean, you can get a nice 4K TV for like $200.
Yeah.
Like they're really cheap now.
So
But
I think that's like a major thing pushing them to it, is that like they go where like casual audiences are going. Like the Wii, it was like at that point, like HD TVs were starting to become popular, but a lot of people still had like 4x3 displays and like old CRTs. So they didn't feel the need to make that jump very critically as far as everybody else did. But
no, and that's fine. It's just, again, it's a thing where like a lot of great games on that system really suffer, and I think that's the biggest upset, is because it's like I don't mind. I mean, I'm gonna do my research on a game before I get it anyway, but that's the annoying part of like, if there's a game I already know I would like or want to play, having to do this research or wait to see how it runs and do all this other stuff before I can just grab it is frustrating.
Yeah.
And then, because even Monster Hunter looks great and it runs really, really well for what is going on there. But if I could get even a solid 60 out of it instead of just like a teetering 30, like, oh man, it'd be such a better game already. Even though it's fantastic, it's still just that thing of like, God damn, you guys, you make so many good games. Like, just get that performance where it needs to be, please. And like Hyrule, Warriors, I brought that one up a million times because that one's like really bad.
Yes.
And maybe they patched it. I don't know, because I took it back after playing a good few hours of it. I just couldn't take it anymore.
The worst, and I think you could go back and see this in an old episode, but the worst example of like a terrible Switch port fidelity-wise was Mutant Year Zero. It looks so abysmal.
Yeah.
It's like the
Outer
worst.
Worlds too, really bad. Outer Worlds was really bad.
Arc, like I'm hoping at least if they don't like patch
well,
DLSS
Arc is a
in,
big joke. I don't even know why they put Arc on that system. I feel like that's Arc being greedy, because they seem to be greedy. Yeah. I don't think that I can really hold Nintendo totally accountable for that. I don't think they should put that game on there.
I'm just saying in general, because like developers are going to have to do a little bit of legwork. If not like implement DLSS, because not every engine supports it. Like at least like patch in to allow like the higher like fidelity through like resolution and like take advantage of additional hardware.
I think like, it's that thing that I mean we've been begging for it as a community forever, really, I think, but it's that thing of like, just give us make the default the ultra setting or whatever it is that you would ship it as. Like, make that that's the highest end. And then let us crank shit down if we want to. Like, it doesn't, I don't need this, like, especially like if you're a kid, you don't know what you're doing, whatever. If you're adults that do, just let us do it, because it's really annoying. Like, and it's not going to be a huge jump there, but it does lead to some kind of pirating and some other stuff, because it's like, if I could have found a really easier way to play Breath of the Wild on the PC, I would have done it. Because it's not like that game doesn't run well and doesn't look well, but like, that forest boy, oh fuck! If it starts raining, get out of here, dude. That frame rate is just getting chewed, and like, especially now, because I've seen some videos of Breath of the Wild running at 8K on a PC. Fuck, man, looks real good, runs real good, like it looks super nice.
I think I think that they're also watching those videos and making some moves. I think.
Yeah, well, they're
like,
calling some lawyers for sure, but that's about it.
Well, legally.
They're calling somebody at NVIDIA and be like, how do you do this? And you go, well, we tried to help you guys. We work with you. And they're like, no, how do you do this? Yeah. And then they're like, NVIDIA's like, we'll do it, but you got to call Sakurai and have him put the NVIDIA logo in Smash. And he's like, fuck, dude, I am so retired already. Please don't.
I've had characters in the can for 10 years. I ain't all these polls that people were doing. It's all a joke. I've already planned these out.
I would love it if Sakurai he bought himself a coffin with all the Smash Brothers characters on it and just laid in it like a goddamn vampire and just took like a 10-year nap and then emerged later and was like, I've got a new one. And like, he's like, I've slept for 10 years. Like, I got another one. Hold on.
Dude,
you know what else I was thinking about? This is totally besides this, but I saw a raccoon the other day. Fuck, man, I really want a new Sly Cooper game. That's not
man.
Anything to do with this?
I mean, I always say that, but I only ever played the first one. I never played like
they were all good.
I never played like the second one and the third one, but that first one was something special.
If Sony wants to put his penis aside and give us Switch version of those games. That would be really cool. It's never gonna happen. Give me a
that'd be
PC
pretty
version
neat.
of those games. That'd be really neat.
They are on the Vita. The collection on the Vita ain't too bad.
Yeah, but that means I gotta get a damn Vita, and then
Hey,
I gotta
man.
spend $480 for an 8 gig memory card.
If
and
you got a
then-
couple hours, I can tell you some cool shit you can do with the PlayStation Vita now. I will tell
Oh,
you
I know
some
you can.
real neat
I know you
stuff you
can.
can do with a
I've-
Vita. That's
I've
the whole
honestly-
reason I bought one.
I've looked at some over the years. I'm kind of waiting for our job to get one so I can get it discounted by about 40% from whatever they're selling it for, and then I'll totally get one.
You have to look for some specific models. You got to get that
Yeah,
one.
no,
You
yeah.
got to look for that one with the OLED display or the LED display or whatever.
Well, one has like wild burn-in, doesn't it? Wouldn't it be not the OLED one?
Well, that one is like overall it's better. Like the screen, like I
Dude, I
guess,
see your
but it has a
mischievous
lot of
eyes
like.
wandering around. That has nothing to do with what you're talking about. What your darkness is about.
What are you
I
talking
see it.
about?
I see
What are you
the. I
talking
see them
about?
shifty eyes moving around. Because I was like, yeah, but doesn't it have burn-in? You're like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. The screen doesn't really matter. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is,
Yeah, well,
if you want to open up the door to the darkness, you need a different one.
Yeah, if you
I get
can't
it.
have that, can't have that one. I guess to wrap it up real quick, Nintendo DLSS,
Yes, we
make it happen.
talked about it.
Make it fucking happen. I mean, we talked about it at length.
I
But
mean,
like
it's
the
been- yeah,
article
it's
itself,
been
that's all
weeks.
you got to know.
Yeah.
Because here's what I want to avoid, and this is why I put it in here, is that I put a couple of articles in here for the show that were like history of like NX rumors and stuff, because it was fucking stupid when the Switch was coming out. Like it was just a dreadful affair.
Oh, you mean, hold on, scroll back up. It was just horrific, like fucking super macho King Dedede back there. What's he about?
Yeah, this is actually the first this is how Nintendo revealed the Switch. This is the first image they tweeted.
They had a bill with like a mag light on top of it, and then or a mag light on top of this. Oh, that's the train light. I was like, what the fuck is this like cop flashlight they've got on top of the Switch?
Hell
And
yeah.
who's that blue character? That other one? It's not
I
a
don't
Nintendo
know.
character, is it?
It's really weird. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, right.
Some
You
little
don't.
spiky dude, some kind of weirdo loser that I happen to
get me
really
started.
like.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't act like you don't know who that is.
Yeah, because like 2015 is when they started like kind of reporting all the dev kits were out there, and like everybody's like, yeah, whatever. There were like leaks about the mass production, which ended up being true. I do remember this, like, because they hadn't really talked about like the Switch, like official games coming to it, but I remember like the director of Final Fantasy 11 was straight up like, yeah, it's coming to the next Nintendo console, like essentially just like confirming that was happening.
You talking about Dragon Quest or?
Yeah, Dragon Quest 11.
Oh, sure. I remember seeing. I always wanted to play that 3DS one, but I never did.
Dude, so they don't have an English version yet. They're like nobody's done like a fan translation, anything like that. But yeah, I like the kind of demake stuff that Square has done over the years. Like they did it with Final Fantasy 15. Like the Pocket Edition of that game's really cool.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get that, but I hear like negative stuff about it.
Yeah.
I definitely. I was looking at that football controller. I totally remember that now.
Yeah,
because the whole idea was supposed to be a screen, and then haven't they said that the newer PSP is supposed to look really similar to that? Like that the whole thing would be a screen like the new Vita. If there is, I don't know if they'll do a new Vita, but there was like rumors about something in that mindset.
Dude, I think the last thing I ever heard is that like PlayStation's totally out of handheld. Like they're just not ever gonna do it again. But we'll see.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I don't know. They've made some really good ones, but it is just like, I mean, the Vita is great. I think the battery could be a lot better, and then the memory stuff. It's that proprietary memory that fucked them, to be honest with you.
You can
because it's like,
do
I
some
feel like
cool
you
things
can
with that too.
listen to me right now. I'm talking about as their system as a whole. Because if if the Vita was already like what $300, I think it was, or 200 and something. I think it was 300 when it came out.
Let's see. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Because I remember What did the 500 trash? What?
So
Yeah, it launched at. I think it said it dropped to 200, but I think it initially was 300 because I bought one on launch day when it first came out.
249, yeah, 249.
Yeah, 249, but like an 8 gig memory card or 16 gig memory card was another $100.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So it was like I get $450 almost $350 for a handheld system at the time was crazy that you couldn't use your own proprietary memory for. I just think it was a huge because those cards were harder to come by and they were always super expensive and you needed multiple ones because they were all really tiny. So it's like I think they kind of shit themselves by not allowing like download sales as much because you wouldn't want to because you couldn't really hold them. And I think that was a big issue because for me, if I'm getting a portable, especially now, I want almost everything digital. I don't really want any physical cart whatsoever because I like the collector in me hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
But having especially now because my Switch has a 500 gig card in it. Now I don't. I just want everything on there. I don't care. But I'd rather because the idea of portability means I just want it all there. I don't want to carry a bunch of other unnecessary shit. I just want the thing and then all the games right there. And you also run into, not that I've ever had this happen, but the thought of like losing a game or something like that is tremendously upsetting. So it's like I can't lose it if it's not physical,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm still like you can see it, that red line behind me is all the Switch games I have, and it just keeps getting bigger. It's insane.
I'm trying to think. I got a few. I usually only get them if they're like super like Final Fantasy 10 was 10 and 10-2 was like $20, and then I was like, nah, that seems fair. I'll buy. Although again, you only get one of them. The digital one gives you 2 as well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So this was like the next major one that happened. I just want to go back and reminisce about this one. It's insane looking.
It looks insanely uncomfortable, but it also I do kind of like it. Like
yeah,
I'm kind of in.
There's
I'm
something
into
there.
It.
Yeah, because there were some
see
weird patents like that Nintendo had where it was like full display in a controller.
Well, dude, all that does necessarily. I mean, I would rather have some physical buttons on somewhere, but it would give you the idea of using touchscreen buttons like extra. Like it would kind of do what the 3DS did on some games, where it's like you had like another about 8 buttons, like 4 on each side of the touchscreen for stuff. There was actually the good Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles that was on there. They used that, like you would use the spells and some other stuff like that with the touchscreen, which was pretty rad. I think there's a Zelda game or two that did it. And that would be nice, but there is really no substitute for actual physical buttons though in any capacity. Yeah. Like you really, there's no need for them to go away. They're great.
Yeah. I mean,
turns out buttons are really good. We've been making them for how many decades now? Buttons actually work pretty well.
I mean, I would say that the first video game ever had buttons, but it was actually just a fucking stupid knob or something. I think we got there. We eventually got there.
But even the first Atari, I guess, or one of the first one was like a joystick with a button on it or a joystick with a button next to it. Like a button was always
It was somewhere on there. It was somewhere there.
There's somewhere there was a button.
Button involved.
Paddington Bear, he had buttons on his outfit. I mean,
he's a controller, dude.
He had buttons for eyes, maybe. He was just a controller.
Yeah.
He was just a puppet, dude, in this whole thing. Paddington Bear was, I don't know what I'm saying.
He was a work glove.
Ugh.
This was like the next major one that came out. They basically like leaked kind of like the.
I mean, you're basically there with that one.
Yeah, that's almost what it was.
Actually, well, no, I like the off tilt joysticks. I was gonna say I almost like that better.
Yeah, I mean, like, because the Wii U, dude, like, honestly, the gamepad, like, it actually feels pretty good to hold. Like, the ergonomics of that thing are beyond what the Switch has, because, like, the Switch Lite feels good to hold. Yeah, but
it does, like but they both are, like, a little too thin and with no real ergo to it whatsoever. And because of how flat they are, anytime you're holding it, you kind of, with one hand especially, you always feel like you're about to drop that son of a bitch somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I don't like that. I want some grip. I need some grip. I mean, that's the thing is like that's really all I care about seeing at this point of the Pro or Switch, new Switch or whatever we're calling it. I want to see what those Joy-Cons look like. I want to see I want to see that.
They should definitely update them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Especially because of how much issues they've had with the old ones, like internally and externally. Like, come on, dogs.
Oh, and dude, at this time, the best game on the Switch was announced for the Switch. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, this was
really
your
neat.
weird fantasy one where you got to make yourself a Sonic character, wasn't it?
Look, there it is. NX. Very cool. I couldn't wait. Game turned out terrible.
Oh, you
What
said
can I
you still
say?
play it every day
Can I
on
say?
the Reggie. You said you love it.
No, let's move on.
No, you said you always go back to it. What is your character's name in Sonic? What kind of animal and what character?
His name is
Just give me
Zachary
your-
the Fox, and he has green fur, and he has 3 tails. He doesn't just have 2 tails, he has 3 tails.
Oh, so
And one of them is really buff. One of the tails is really buff. He's got a buff.
Seems unnecessary.
He has a buff. It looks like muscles. It's
It
really
seems like
cool.
that would hinder his flight more so than assist it.
No, he basically
Zach-
uses the muscular tail as like a spring to launch off of things.
I gotta be honest with you, Zachary the Green Fox sounds like a character that goes to high school with Sonic and he really wants to be Sonic's best friend, but Sonic can't stand him. That's what it sounds like to me. I know that's not gonna fly for your fan fiction because in your story, I'm pretty sure they kiss. But
I'm writing
real
episode 3 of Sonic High School. I'm actually
are you?
writing it. Yeah, as we speak, I'm writing episode 3 of Sonic High School. So that's a good motivation. I like that.
Look, I might have to let you go.
Okay.
I know we've had a pretty good run. We're almost up
had
to
a great
30
run.
episodes. We're getting there,
Yeah.
but something is it's just troubling the things you say sometimes. And some of your wants and dreams just don't line up with mine. You know what I mean?
Do you think in Kingdom Hearts 4 that they're going to put the Sonic the Hedgehog characters in Kingdom Hearts? Because that'd be really
I don't know.
cool.
You got to ask if Disney will own it by then. So there's a pretty high chance that they will.
Yeah.
Because it's
What if
something, and Disney wants to own it.
Disney will buy Sega and own Sonic the Hedgehog. What a world.
Dude, that
What a
would be
fucking
awful if
world.
Disney bought it, because then that would mean they would own Yakuza as well, and I don't like that idea even a little bit.
You could have like a cool Disney Channel original film about Kiryu.
Yakuza High, and it would
Yeah,
and it would just be Ned's Declassified, but with Yakuza themes instead.
I would like to think it's the exact same tone. They're just all children.
It's exactly the same. I was thinking of it's exactly the same thing as Boy Meets World, just with murder.
Yeah.
Boy Meets Murder.
They're all smoking
Boy Meets
cigarettes.
Dragon.
They
on the
have like
roof.
full dragon back tattoos.
And
dude.
they're 13, and Mr. Feeney's like an old smoking Japanese man in like a kimono with his chest. Dude, I would love that actually. I would love Mr. Feeney, just this old like you're like, oh shit, dude. And he throws like half a raw fish at his students, followed by a butcher knife because he's just insane.
Yeah, dude. Okay, well, we're coming up with a lot of good ideas in this episode.
Yeah,
so
man. Disney's Yakuza High sounds pretty dope. I'm kind
Are
of.
you circling back? I'm
I'm turning it back around. Disney, if you want to buy a company, Sega said they'll have you. I know officially. I work for both. My dad owns Sega. My mother owns Nintendo. So I guess if my parents finally talk, they'll work it out.
But to round this out real quick, I did find like another list of some rumors that weren't on that last one. This was the like patent that was
I remember this
leaked.
picture too. Yeah.
So that's what that render was based on. And like, yeah, I remember seeing this and being like, well, I mean, that's kind of novel, I guess. Like, it didn't seem out of the realm of possibility like we were talking about, but
No, but it does have that air of like, this ain't gonna be fun. Like, it does have this thing of like, nah.
yeah.
As soon as you only see 2 joysticks, you just automatically like, or something's gonna be bad here, or it's just gonna be. My immediate thought really is like, well, no third party is gonna make anything for this, so that's just gonna be Nintendo only on that thing.
Yeah,
if it's just 2 joysticks and nothing else,
it's gonna be your Mario
like a
machine.
weird touch screen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I can't. Well, actually, what would it be? It'd be one Call of Duty game and then no other third-party games. Is what that would be. and then you go, nah, I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, the first rumor on the list was that it would have 4K streaming and 90 or 900p gameplay. That neither of those things happened.
Well, yet.
Yeah,
That may
my
be
opinion. I want to read the verdicts on this. My opinion, not a chance.
not a chance.
Not a chance, dude.
This rumor seems to be absurd. Personally, I'm crossing my fingers for 4K native resolution, or at least 2K if that's even a thing. Or at least 2K if that's even a thing. It is a thing, bitch. And it's the best one. That's actually, you know what? That's what I would prefer. I would prefer Nintendo to make a well-running 2K machine rather than a 4K machine, because 2K and 4K doesn't look that bad, whereas 1080p at 4K does. And
Dude, now that we're in the 21:9 future, I want the next consoles to support that. Like, come on, what are we doing?
yeah. Or I know. Well, I think the PS5 does.
I
Or
think
the
they
Xbox
said that they're
does.
going to patch
One of
it
them
in.
do.
One of those two consoles, yeah. I think that was something they mentioned, like they
Yeah.
could patch in or something.
They could cash us some more promises that they ain't gonna check. They could check some more promises they ain't gonna cash, whatever it is.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah, I got it in one, no problem.
No optical drive. Widely speculated that it wouldn't happen. I think everybody pretty much knew.
Yeah, because nobody wants to carry around discs on a handheld either. That shit sucked.
But the verdict? Unlikely. Yeah. I'm no expert at reading patents, but I can't help but notice the word abstract in bold words on top of the filing. It seems strange to parent something the device does not have, or to patent something the device does not have. Also, keywords in the filing may be the example system is not provided with an optical disk drive for reading out of a program or data from the optical disk, meaning that the prototype submitted did not have an optical drive, but will not
won't
reflect the
final product. Of course it's not going to have a disk drive. Why would it?
Yeah.
Especially with how fucking huge SD cards get now. Why would you?
Yeah, like we're going to go back to UMDs? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, everybody's favorite media.
Yeah, everybody loved dropping their PSP
movies.
and cracking their UMDs. Everybody, that was a really cool feature.
Just that tiny slit that you could scratch or let coins get under or some shit for no fucking reason, dude. Yeah, UMDs were a bad call. That's another reason the PSP didn't take off, I think, is because nobody wanted to do that. Nobody wanted to carry those around, especially when Nintendo already had a better option.
Yeah, there's something cool about holding a UMD, but then the functionality of it is like something totally different. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, it is cool because it is this weird data disk. Like, it's the literal idea of like a data disk. There's like some kind of casing, but there is a tiny disk. Like it's what the future of disk looked like. But then also you held a GameCube disc. You're like, this is really too small. And if I even get the small scratch on it, it feels like I've ruined the whole thing.
Dude, I just had a fucking great idea. We should do a tier list when we get around to doing tier lists. We should do a tier list of of the top movies available on UMD. We should do.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We could also do one for what was it for the Xbox 360 DVD player.
Yeah, the HD DVD. We'll rank all the HD DVD movies.
Yeah. Actually, if you don't mind, I'll do it right now for all of us. It was King Kong, and that was the only one because there was no other one. So,
I think they had like two others, dude. I think 300
maybe
was
Avatar.
on there. Yeah.
Of course 300 was, but who gives a shit? You've already seen that guy get kicked off the edge a million times. You didn't need to see the rest of that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, also, I'm still waiting for that old Sonic tier list, by the way, because you promised. And
we'll do it. I swear that'll be a special episode where we get together and we do a Sonic tier list.
Actually, now that I say that, I have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off next week in a row. So if you want to do it one of those days,
we'll talk.
Not that it matters, because I'm going to play Monster Hunter the whole time, regardless of what you say. I would like to do it still.
Yes. Yeah, we will have a Sonic tier list before too long. But the next one on this was like touchpad controller.
Why is this guy so angry?
I don't know.
We'll see it when we see it, and nothing we see before the official reveal is worth our attention. Well, neither is this fucking article then, dipshit. Like, if you're gonna say that. Like,
Yeah.
you just discredited your entire thing.
I think this guy was on the same page that I was about this time of like all the rumors where it's just like, I'm tired of hearing about it. Like, to be honest, it got to a point where I was just like, until Nintendo has like a video or an announcement to make, I'm kind of bowing out.
Yeah.
Of course I didn't, but I had
Well,
that thought.
honestly, with consoles, you basically have to, because they don't really want to tell you anyway. And I mean, honestly, I guess for Nintendo specifically, because for like Xbox and PlayStation, it's a little more apparent. Like, you're gonna just get a better computer, basically. Like, you're gonna get a better computer than the last computer they made, but it's still like just a faster computer. So that's like, doesn't even really matter. It's just like, yeah, what's the new one? But Nintendo specifically is always more interesting because they may do some banana shit for no reason and just make everybody deal with it.
Yeah. This one's actually really funny. It will be a home hybrid portable. Here's a difficult one to wrap your head around. Yeah, very difficult now. 3 years,
I like
4
it.
years into the life cycle.
Verdict. As for if it will happen again, it seems very unlikely. 2 pieces of gaming hardware means twice the investment, which for some, but not for the majority. If they separated machines and connected them as optional, it would be feasible, but they could have bundled together or separately. If they have played the same hardware again, it'd be excellent to finally seamlessly transition between them. As I stated, there's no reason the Wii can't do anything 3DS can do, so perhaps they would have games that only work on the home console alongside. Like, come on, man.
Come on.
Why is this guy getting to write these articles?
I don't know.
Especially after you've seen the Wii U and the 3DS separately, you could go, yeah, that seems plausible. And by that point, you've seen your fucking cell phone. And like known that you could plug it into a big TV if you wanted. Like,
this dude was still on a Razor, dude. He wasn't riding the wave of cool phones.
Yeah, he's still working through his PS2 like catalog. Like, what is happening with this? Why is this guy writing for games?
As to whether or not Zelda Wii U will be delayed and released on both, I can see this getting a parallel release. They're right.
Yeah, that's
barring
fine.
Limitations for both systems. That's the other thing. Like, we were talking about Breath of the Wild's performance earlier, and I do think that part of it was like hindered with them developing it on the Wii U. Like, I think them developing something for like the Switch as it is today would have been like far superior to whatever that was.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we'll get to see it. So once Zelda Breath of the Second Wild comes out or whatever it is,
I have a feeling that'll be like another dual thing. Like, you play it on the new version, you get these bells and whistles, but you can still play it on the original hardware. That's what I imagine.
For sure. I mean, that would be nice. And I hope that really is the new hardware. I hope we get it alongside her. Honestly, I hope we get the system beforehand, really. I want the system more than I want anything else at this point. But
yeah, I'm with you on that. Final Fantasy 15 and 7 coming to the NX. Nope, that didn't happen. Not even worth reading the verdict.
Cloud being in Smash would make sense, though, and all would be forgiven for me if he would turn up on the Wii U with the definitive version of Final Fantasy. What? Be forgiven for me if he would turn up on Wii U with this definitive version of Final Fantasy VII. I have no doubts that Final Fantasy VII on NX will get gamers to stop turning their nose up at Nintendo and take the console seriously again. What is this dude? He's like, yeah, people are going to say that the Switch sucks ass until they see that there's a Final Fantasy VII game on there. If they remaster Final Fantasy VII for the Switch, then people will listen. You're like, what the fuck are you on about? Like, who has ever come to a Nintendo platform and gone, you know what? Well, I would say early on maybe you could say that with the Final Fantasy games, but no one in the last like 20 years has been like, you know what? I'm here for this. I'm here for the Final Fantasy games. That's what I'm here for.
Exclusively,
exclusive Final Fantasy games made by almost only Sony, for Sony. Jesus.
Wireless HDMI dongle, that didn't happen. Reasonable and plausible.
And that's the reasonable one.
Annoy uninterested parents with irresponsible small children.
Dude, this guy needs to quit drinking on weekdays. He's out of his fucking mind, man. I'm tired of this. I don't know who this guy is, but he's out of it.
We'll just do a couple more. Analog sticks with haptic feedback didn't happen. Bluetooth sync
Yeah,
with
that's
everything.
fine.
I remember hearing that rumor, but no, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, in the opposite, they're just like no Bluetooth at all. Fuck off.
Yeah,
You can't
get
have it.
fucked. I have been
Yeah.
looking at those little adapters you can plug into them to do Bluetooth
I'm saying
headphones.
I'm saying wait, because
yeah,
if this
I'm not
one
gonna pull
doesn't
the trigger.
have Bluetooth for headphones, they're out of their mind.
Yeah,
like-
I agree with that.
They're really out of touch if they don't do that, because it's unreal that they don't already. So
Similar tech to PS4 and Xbox One. Nope. Emphasis on Unreal Engine, I guess, and Android OS. No, that didn't happen. I remember that rumor too, that like it was built on an Android operating system, but not really. Like I think the like root of the OS is like Linux operation or operating system or something, but no, it's not it's not Android. Social features like Pokemon Go that will take multiplayer AR and Street Pass concept to a whole new level. I'm sad that this didn't come true. Like honestly, Street Pass and all that was like real cool. Like that was like
oh dude,
big
yeah. When I worked
thing.
the conventions, it was like one of my favorite things to do at the booth was just like check Street Pass and play it. Especially when they put out the second round of Street Pass games too. Like they added a DLC. I really like Street Pass. I thought that was rad because it was always like a little night, like especially like I'd see somebody and I was like, oh, this boy's been playing a shit ton of Monster Hunter. A brother, look at that.
Yeah.
A friend. You
And
know,
then,
it was
like,
just this.
filling out the like puzzle things or like the
Yeah.
picture frames and stuff. Like yeah, all that stuff was really fucking cool.
It was really neat. There is really
yeah.
no reason this doesn't have something like it. I like that shit a lot. I think it was cool. That was a very Nintendo thing to do, but it was like one of the coolest things they did. But I don't think it got enough respect, to be honest.
Mhm.
Like it was one of those things that like most people probably didn't mess with in the way that they should have.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
And I guess moving to like from Pokemon Go social style stuff, they are developing a Pikmin Niantic game, kind of like Pokemon Go, which I'm totally cool with. I like Pikmin. Pikmin are cool.
Yeah, it's just there's some. I mean, it's a personal thing, but the playing games on my phone, I'm still not in love with, even if it is neat. But I think the thing for me is like almost all AR games are less game and more just like a quicker experience thing. Because even Pokemon Go, I don't really know is like a game. Like it kind of is, but it's sort of not. I don't think.
It is a social game. Like now
Yeah.
it is. Like they really did push like, hey, you got to like do raids with people. You got to meet up with people. Like do gifts, and I get like the communities around that stuff are insane. And I was into Pokemon Go for like the first 4 months of its release, and then they made some like decisions I didn't agree with, and so I just kind of dropped it. But yeah,
I think the big thing, like I think this is cool, but I want a Pikmin 4 instead. Like I like Pikmin a lot, and I'd like to see a fresh one on this system.
Mhm.
You know.
I have been thinking about
rather
picking
than-
up 3 on the Switch but I have it on
Same.
Wii U, and I do love that game. So
I
know.
don't, and I did like the demo quite a bit. I think I'll probably I would like to see it go on sale at all because I think 60 is a little steep for what is on offer, even though it's definitely a good game. To play it again though.
Yeah. I paid 60 on Wii U before all the DLCs, and I would say like the DLCs themselves are like worth playing. Like that stuff's really fun.
I know. Well, truly, I just think like Nintendo's got to start doing these remasters at like $30 or $40. It's just
I
like
agree. I agree.
It's a little extreme, especially
Mhm.
for some games that you've bought 2 or 3 times now. It's like, come on, like I get you're not gonna back down, but it's really a bit much.
What do you think like a Pikmin like AR style game would be? Because I have an idea of what it might be, but I'm not entirely sure.
My guess would be that you will walk around with probably okay. My guess would be that you'll be walking around, and I would think that you would probably act as the ship, more or less, and you would have enemies that you would fight or whatever. But I would think that the Pikmin will probably. I would love to have them in front of you, like walking in front of you or whatever, to see them. But I would think that's like pretty resource intensive. So I'd guess they would either be behind you is my idea, and there'd probably be like a counter on the screen or something that shows you what you have walking with you. And my guess would be more or less that you would probably send them out, like when you see in the world like a strawberry laying on the ground, or you see an enemy or whatever, and then you'll flick them with your
That'd
phone
be cool. Yeah.
out to the creature there, and then have them come back to you or whatever. It would be neat if there was some puzzle solving stuff, which I don't know how you really make a Pikmin game without some of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how you incorporate that into the world necessarily either.
Like environmental puzzle stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because that's sort of what the game is, so it's really weird to not have that. It's sort of resource management and environmental puzzle.
See, I am kind of sad.
Then you would find new Pikmin. That'd be another thing, like new colors and flavors of Pikmin out.
I wonder if they'll like have exclusive like breeds of Pikmin for this thing. Like,
I mean,
they probably
can you
will
sell it.
Yeah, you could definitely sell that.
Because I imagine you're getting that in cosmetics or something, even though your Pikmin can die. So I don't know if that. I guess maybe it's like all yellow Pikmin wear Santa hats or whatever, or some shit like that.
Shit.
Or summon a red Pikmin pod down by you, so you can, and that's $1, and you can put that near you. Or a Pikmin, or a monster scent, so that's $1, and then you pull monsters towards you that your Pikmin can fight, so they can grow. There's some fucking experience bar. I don't know where it's at, but there's an experience bar in this game somewhere. I know it.
I hope they keep the real world product placement. Like, they kind of got away with it, away from it with Pikmin 3, but like straight up in Pikmin 1 and 2, you're getting like Dole bananas and Carmex and Duracell batteries, and
right,
it's crazy. Like all the actual product placement in those games.
I mean, Niantic's got the legs and Nintendo both to swing it. Like, especially with how well Pokemon Go went, I'm sure they could go to most companies and go, "Hey, do you want to advertise your thing in the game by just putting your one product? All you have to do is just we render the product you have and just randomly put it in the world."
Yeah.
I could also see some companies going like, "Well, we don't want to see our products laying on the ground like it's trash." And then you go, "Fuck you." You know what I mean? I could see that too.
Stupid. Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's just how these companies are, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a neat idea. Again, I think I'd rather just have a traditional Pikmin game, but I would I'll play that, of course. I mean, I'll give it a run. There's no reason I won't.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. You pretty much covered everything I think it might be, and I think it will have like raid style bosses where like it's a big like Bulborb like creature or something on the map, and you meet with a bunch of other captains. And
I would say you better get to create your own captain and what his ship looks like.
Absolutely.
And if you can't do that, then I'm out. Because that seems like a no-brainer, especially if you're trying to get that Cosmo money. Then you better be doing that. And if not, then you've missed an opportunity that I don't think I trust you with the rest of the game. Because I know you want to sell something. I know you want to sell something in this free game.
Last idea. 100 captains, and you get dropped from an airplane, and you land on an island, and you all have
weapons you have are Pikmin.
You only have Pikmin.
Yeah, okay.
And you can get the little bombs with the yellow Pikmin, and you can throw bombs at everybody else's Pikmin, and the first person to have all their Pikmin wiped out. Dude, I'm actually coming up with a cool game concept, so I think I'm like done.
Here's what I was gonna say. I want it to be like I want it to be like 5 to 6 captains on a map fighting for territory as they grow their Pikmin army to do battle. I want Civ 5, but I want Pikmin. What I really want is I want StarCraft via Pikmin. And so I want larger territory control. Like I want to own the city of Dallas, but I want to own it in this Pikmin game where my Pikmin army fights Mongols or whatever. Basically what I'm saying is I want to do a draft for Pikmin so they can fight my own personal army and do my bidding. I'm effectively trying to recreate the US Army but with Pikmin.
Very cool.
That's cool. Pretty sick.
You get them real young. You get the Pikmin real young at like 17 to enlist, and
the draft
you'll see the world.
They don't really have a choice. It's sort of like if you're Pikmin, you got to do this. It's not really. There's not even really. They don't have rights, dude. They're Pikmin.
That's the fucked up dichotomy of like Pikmin and Pokemon. Like, there's nobody advocating for the rights of Pikmin and Pokemon.
No, Well, wasn't that like what Black and White kind of was?
No,
that
you're
Pokemon?
right. Yeah. It was
But
like
it's the only one where they even tried it.
Well, no, because I think
right.
like the adverse thing, like, because I think it's like, oh, we shouldn't treat Pokemon as weapons. And it's like, they're not weapons, they're friends. And so
yeah,
it's
and that one just electrocuted the other one, and that one caught him on fire. And it's like, yeah, they're buddies. It's like, this one is literally made out of materials that easily catch on fire, and that guy only blows fire out of his mouth. And they're like, yeah, they're friends. And I was like, are they? Because that was pretty much dead. And like, he fainted, and it's like, he fainted is the equivalent of my parents flushing a goldfish down the toilet and giving me a new one. Like, that bitch is dead. Like, don't give me this shit.
Yeah, sugarcoating it.
I love that this giant fire-breathing dragon has the restraint to leave the creature with 1 health left, which is almost more sickening that it won't put it out of its misery. It's just going to severely injure it and then let it keep living, which is almost more sick.
They're just all having fun, dude. Pokemon is just a really fun thing.
They're just
it's
friends.
about friendship.
And then you cramp their essence into a tiny chamber. You deconstruct their matter into a ball and let them live in this Honey I Shrunk the Kid prison on your fucking belt like it's an accessory. Fuck off, Pokemon. There's no way any of the shit you've done is cool. Like, it's legitimately all fucked. I don't mind. I think it's a cool concept, but I think it's fucked if you really start to dig into it.
Yeah, if you really start thinking about it. Yeah, and sending all those poor Pikmin to their death.
If you chisel away at those egg-shaped eyes and those big smiles, you see a real dark game in there, but what are you going to do? Aren't all the ghost Pokemon also like aren't spirits
like
of people
Pokemon
that have died?
So a couple of them are like spirits of people, I think, but some of them are like spirits of Pokemon that have passed away. Yeah,
that's why Yokai Watch was a better game, because they were transparent with their bullshit. Like, these are all dead fools, man.
These are demons.
Also, their enemy design was insane. I think the yokai were really rad because they're just all bananas.
I think Yokai Watch is a direct response to all the 90s mothers and churches that were like anti-Pokemon because they were pocket monsters.
Like, Yokai what about this ghost with exposed butt cheeks that farts on you or whatever, and this old creepy man that eats ramen while he stares at you? Like,
and by the way, he's a demon. It's an
actual
he's a demon.
Oh, and they're all ghosts. That's a ghost of a pervert right there. You want to capture him and be his friend? You're like, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, where are all the moms against Yokai Watch?
Where's that Switch Yokai Watch? That's what I want, because I would like to actually sit there and play one that doesn't use a touchscreen. That would be cool for me.
Yeah. That's the thing that turned me off, is like the gameplay always looked a little weird, but the aesthetics of it looked pretty neat.
It was neat. The combat was just like,
it was like timing based or something, right? Like,
yeah, and you had to use the stylus to do like drawing stuff and do all this other shit. Like, it was like intuitive, it was innovative, I would say, rather, in a way. But it was like one of those things where at a point you're just like, let me just fight the guy. Like, I don't want to. Like, I don't need to do all this tomfoolery to just fight the thing, please.
Yeah.
So yeah, but hey, they want to make a new one, I'd play it.
Yeah,
you know
I'll give one a shot.
I'm gonna look at that. Yokai Watch Switch.
I guess one last story while you're looking that up. Did they make one, or are they in the plans of making one?
Yokai Watch 1 for Nintendo Switch. First 30 minutes. Switch full game. This was in October of 2019.
I don't think that they actually released it. Maybe somebody just hacked something on their Switch.
Oh, it looks like it maybe is a Japanese release only.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's fricked. Why? Just give us it as a digital thing. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
October 10th, 2019 in Japan. I wonder if you could import that, though, and if it would have English. I could probably find that.
Maybe. Yeah, if you end up going through with it, let me know.
Okay, yeah, Yokai Watch 4, we're looking up at the same sky. Japan import $60. In stock, I could get it delivered on the 27th.
Well, hey.
You
better learn Japanese.
Well, it might have the English in there. A lot of them do.
But yeah.
Yeah, let me see here.
One last quick one.
Hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Microsoft might be buying Discord. They're gonna turn it into Skype 2.0. It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, that's been
That'll
the
be a
ongoing
neat
joke
thing for them to do. But hey, like, I don't know, how much are they worth? 8 billion according to this. Yeah, 10 billion. $10 billion. Dude, I don't know. Discord, like, it's like the best communication. Like, even compared to like a Microsoft Teams or like a Slack or Zoom or anything, like Discord's like, dude, it's one of the best ones out there. So yeah, I think that they definitely have some value. I just don't know if I trust Microsoft entirely to not like buy it and fuck them up. Because Microsoft makes decent software, but anything that they've acquired, they just haven't really done a whole lot with. I don't know. I kind of hope Discord stays like neutral and doesn't sell, but that would be a good get for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money, but it sucks because Discord really is the best.
Yeah, this is by far.
And yeah, it is. I mean, I even think back to. I mean, it's so much more than just like a chat app. I mean, it's a chat app, but in its like holistic experience, like between like photos, private conversations, message board, like everything about Discord is like what you always wanted from TeamSpeak and all these other things. I mean, it's basically a different social media in a lot of ways. Like, it's another form of it, but like it's one without all the bull. It's only the bullshit you and your friends want rather than the bullshit from everybody, you know?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I've joined a lot of Discord communities for games, and I think that there's value in that because, like, GTFO for a while there, if you wanted to matchmake, good luck. Like, you had to find people. There were a couple times that I would get into the Discord and like just join up on randoms. Yeah. So now matchmaking's in that game now, by the way. So if that ever kept you on the fence on GTFO, go play.
Oh,
that.
right, it is. Yeah.
But yeah, Discord. Don't go anywhere because I really, really like your product.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't sell your soul. Don't take the money. How's your yokai watch hunt going? How you doing over there?
It's even progressing.
Is the English and the Japanese version? Were you able to figure that out?
It's looking. It's looking like a no. Oh, wait, hold on. In their panel during Anime Expo 2019, Level 5 announced that Yokai Watch 4 will receive Western localization for the Nintendo Switch. The subtitle for the West version, with which in Japan we're looking up at the sky, has not yet been revealed. For the Western version, which is the trailer shows that the expo in Japanese with English subtitles, so it may be a while before an official announcement. So I think from what I was reading on the other ones, is like it does have English subtitles, it just doesn't have the voice. It's not voiced in English, which is I
hope like the menus and stuff are like English, because like that's where you'd really get boned, like trying to figure out how to do everything. Yeah. But yeah, let me pull up this this day in gaming history. Looks like we got quite a few things on here. Oh, one of our favorites is on the list, but we'll get to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't even. I'm sorry. I was.
No, you're good.
I got stuck down
zoned.
this yokai rabbit hole.
Yeah. You're in the zone for sure.
Yeah, my bad. Anyway, what did you say before this? Did you say anything? Or I mean, I know you're talking.
I was just talking.
I know you're talking about Discord and stuff. I apologize.
You responded to what I said. I was just talking nonsense.
I got that last like flash, a couple seconds. I really lost my shit. I was like, what am I? Anyway.
I did say one of our favorite games is on this list, or a game that we've played recently that we happen to really like but haven't mastered quite yet.
Well, BioShock Infinite is one of my favorite games. That's on here.
Jedi Outcast 2 or Jedi Knight 2. That's a really fucking good Star Wars game.
Yeah, that one is pretty solid.
Black and White
Disgaea games.
I played when I was like young, but I never.
Same.
Yeah, I don't really.
I enjoyed
much.
it. I think I remember liking it because that was the one where you just played as like a giant, right? And like you controlled a god monster or something.
Yeah, well, you were a god, and like you did summon monsters, and you had like villagers that did shit for you.
Right.
Okay. But ultimately, you were just fighting with giant creatures. I think like that was the ultimate goal.
I remember liking that game quite a bit, but maybe I didn't. It's hard to say. I feel like I did, but I don't know. All of Peter Molyneux's games are a little weird, though. It's always hard to tell if I actually like them or not. Except for the first Fable. That game was great, but...
Terraria on PS3. It's a decent game.
Yeah. I don't know about playing any of those and, like, not with a mouse and keyboard, because there's so much happening that I feel like I want.
My fiance played so much of that game on her phone, and I have no idea how you have no clue. Yeah. She beat multiple bosses and crazy.
I don't think so. I guess I don't know that having the touchscreen for your bar might not be too bad, because when I was playing Stardew, I would actually kind of use that every now and again to touch the.
It does do this kind of cool magnifying glass effect when you're mining blocks. Like when you tap, it kind of zooms in and grids out what you're tapping. So that's kind of neat.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right. That sounds cool. Okay.
And then it has a stick and buttons for attacks and stuff. But yeah, you're right. Doesn't seem totally ideal, but
I could see it being manageable. But that's still, if I had any other option, I would take it though.
Yeah, for sure. The cool port of Final Fantasy VII was on Nintendo Switch 2 years ago.
Oh, the one that you mean the one that sold the Switch?
Yeah, that one.
the one that got people talking?
Yeah, that were like, oh, finally, I can play a Nintendo console.
Now I have a reason to buy Nintendo consoles because there's a Final Fantasy VII ported to it. That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
Dragon Mark for Death is a game I've tried to get a million times and just never do it, but I want to. It's like this sort of pseudo Monster Hunter side-scroller game, and it seems really cool. The issue with this game, though, is they released 2 versions of this game on all the systems. You can buy a physical copy that has both of them on there, but they released 2 playable characters on one version, 2 playable characters on the other version. So the issue is I don't know if I'm gonna like the 2 that are on one disc and maybe I would have liked the other ones better. So it's just really strange of making your character choices be split between 2 versions of a game rather than I don't know, enemy types or some other shit.
Well, it's kind of like a classic
characters
thing.
That you play.
This is bringing me back to there were games that came out on Game Boy where there were 2 different versions because of Pokemon. But hey, you play this, you buy this one, he plays this character. You buy the other version, he plays a different character. The one that comes to mind immediately is Bomberman Max did that, and I liked those games quite a bit.
But were they that different, or was it just aesthetics?
It was just you play. No, so the story was a little different. The creatures you got were, I think, a little different, but it was pretty much aesthetics.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, this
looks like Mega Man Zero almost to me. It kind of has that same vibe.
Yeah, it seems really neat. It's like a multiplayer focused game, and like I said, it from what I've heard, it has a lot of similarities to Monster Hunter because you're timed on the mission, you're going out to fight a certain creature, you're going that kind of loop. And it looks like I would really like it. It's just that thing of I have to find a full copy of it because I can't just, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't want to pay for half a game and then end up not liking the 2 classes I have available and then having to buy the other half to just play. Yeah, it just seems, it's a dumb way to sell a game like this, I think. Because it doesn't really, it's not in service of the game itself.
For sure.
I don't know why you would do it that way.
But there's the next one
right there. There's that one. That game we need to get back to playing.
Yeah, fuck, dude. I tried to play by myself and got goofed on by specters, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm all right. I'll play this co-op.
Well, like I said, dude, I got them 3 days, boy. So I'm ready to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna. I say that, but I'm gonna be pretty sucked into Monster Hunter. But I can find some time if you want to play it.
Yeah. I mean,
or
your boy might end up getting Monster Hunter as well. I'm on the fence about it. We'll see.
What's got you held back?
My check, and my car situation. Those are really the because I haven't bought a major video game in a minute. So yeah.
Well, listen, your boy doing all right. If you want, we'll talk off camera. But
yeah.
I might be fine with getting that for you, given the circumstance.
Hell
Mainly because I wanted to donate to your Kickstarter anyway. But this is something that benefits both of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The selfish angle is really cool. I like it. I like the selfish angle.
Well, look, I'm saving you $60 is what I'm
No,
doing.
thank you. That'd be perfect, dude. Yeah, I'm not even looking for that, but hey, man. That's
Yeah, let me
cool.
see what mine looks like tomorrow, because if it's what I think it is, then I'm totally I'm down to do that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Um,
But yeah, we'll get to Outward eventually. And as for the other games, Path of Exile,
It's
I'm
okay.
Not big on them.
People love
Yeah.
it, but I've never really been as into it as I hoped it to be.
And as far as the rest of these, I have no idea what these games are. I
wouldn't mind checking out a Diablo top-down style game on this fat boy monitor, though. I'll tell you that much.
I bet Diablo 3 looks really fucking good on that thing.
I bet it does.
Yeah.
I bet it does.
If it supports ultra-wide, I bet it looks pretty damn good.
It better, dude. They still update that game every 3 months. They better fucking put ultra-wide in that bitch.
Dude, that game is so much fun on
they got
Switch.
the money.
You actually own that game on Switch now. We should play co-op on that because
I played a fuck ton of that game on the flight because I found out as long as you start a seasonal character, you don't necessarily have to log back in. You just have to like ping a server. So basically, like as long as I like before the flight or whatever, I like connected to the Wi-Fi there. Logged in on that and then put it in airplane mode and then just kept playing it, and then it just updates whenever you ping online again or whatever, so you can just keep doing the seasonal thing. Because that was a big concern. I was like, because if I'm playing this game again, I don't want to go through. I want a seasonal character. I want to do the story shit again. I've done it too many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good Switch game. I played a fuck ton of that game while I was there because at
it's
night
actually a really
everybody
good
went to
port,
sleep,
yeah.
and I was like, well. I guess I'm just gonna do this for a couple hours because what else is happening?
Yeah,
it's a really great port. Listen, guys, companies, all you need to do is have as much money as Blizzard does and make ports of your game that run really well on the Switch. It's easy.
It's easy.
Okay,
What
all
are
you
you
need
gonna
to
do?
be a CD Projekt and make a game that's as good as The Witcher and just port it to the Switch and make it run pretty good. That's all you gotta do.
That's all there is to it.
It's so easy, guys. Why aren't y'all doing games out there? Just do better at games. Come on.
Dude, people
That's all
just
you
don't listen to us. Like I don't get it. People don't understand.
People just don't even. Come on, huh?
Yeah.
You
What are you
know what I
doing?
mean?
Well, that's games, man. Those are the games that happened.
That's games.
That's games. Those are things that happened in games.
Hey.
In the past, the future.
To sum
today.
it up, there's probably gonna be another Switch.
I
bet they'll do it.
Hold on.
I bet they'll do it.
Hold on.
Oh yeah. Tap in. What you got?
Hold on.
Yep.
So, give me a letter.
Okay, Nintendo.
Okay. I think
That's one letter.
I think I'm hearing that they're gonna make a new Switch. I think. Yeah,
Whoa.
that's what I'm hearing. They're gonna make a new Switch.
You're almost a medium there for a second. Like, give me a letter, and it's like W. Okay, there's a brother, uncle, sister, cousin,
That's
father
where
in
I
the
was
room?
going. That's where I was going. But you said Nintendo, so I was just like, all right.
My
There's
bad. I'm
there's
sorry
that
to ruin
one.
the bit. I just love
okay.
it. It's like I'm feeling six. I'm feeling one uncle, one mother, a father, a daughter, and a grandfather. Maybe anywhere. Anybody in here had a grandfather before? Like, I've had a grandfather. Like,
I
that's
did?
crazy.
Wow.
Did anybody in this room have a dad at all? Anybody? Like, oh shit, I had a dad. It's like, yes.
Does the letter W mean anything to you? Yeah, George W. Bush. He was a president.
That's right. I am channeling anybody with W that's not a president. And everyone's like, no. I only think about the president. I only think about past presidents. I don't think about anything else. Presidents. I mean, past presidents.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's video games. Remember, always consult your local medium if you're worried about a new Nintendo console, and they'll steer you in the right direction for a small fee, as always, a nominal fee.
Yeah. And come back, and I'll keep making some premonitions because I think they make them true one day. Yeah, deadly, some very deadly premonitions.
Speaking of Switch performance, I wish the Deadly Premonition 2 played better because that game would probably be really good because the first one's really good and super weird, but the performance on the Switch sucks ass because the Switch is bad at that performing.
It's bad.
Just like
pretty bad.
Me during sex. Thank
you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Hell yeah.